Hey guys, it's Kate from Cater. It is still Wednesday, December 6th, just in the evening now. And I'm sitting at the end of the day, relaxing, having a drink, having a smoke. I ran some errands this afternoon after I finished my firewood chores and came home, did more chores, made dinner. Now I'm just relaxing. Reflecting on the video I made today and the topic that I introduced. And I'm going to shoot this video, and I don't know if I'm going to post it, but I'm going to go ahead and shoot it, and I'll see what I think when it's done. And I don't know if it's the right time. Is it still too soon? But, I don't like to share drama when it's happening because I think it's kind of distasteful, but maybe enough time has passed that now this is just an interesting story that I can finally disclose because it's something that I haven't talked about since I moved to my new property. And I broached the topic today with the country criminal thing and how surprised I was to move out here and kind of see how much of that kind of activity was going on out here. So when I bought this house, the realtor kind of postured that the house had been in the family for generations. I spoke about that in my videos. I visualized, a pudgy 60-year-old farmer, like 5'4", selling his family farm, maybe downsizing, whatever I visualized when I bought this house. And then I moved here, and I met the seller, and he was not at all what I had visualized. So I guess the first clue I had was when I was trying to be really friendly to everybody when I first moved here, and I had my bar stocked and, my beer fridge. And so he was here because he still had a lot of stuff on the property that we had negotiated he could take his time clearing out. So he was here and he kind of introduced himself to me. I'll say the day I moved was a bit hairy because my closing took a little bit of time, and my movers actually got here before I did. And my best friend was in charge of my move, and she's, 6'1". She's a beautiful Viking Amazon lady, and I think that he thought that she was me at first, but then he ended up meeting me, and I'm this mousy little whatever. So I asked him if he wanted a drink. Can I get you a beer or something? And he said, I'm more a vodka and Coke guy. So I said, oh, I think I have vodka and Coke in the bar. And he said, not that kind of Coke. And I was like, oh, okay. Now, I'm super square. I admit that for all of these tattoos. I'm a pot smoking, granola at heart. So that was my first clue. And then the first week or so I was here, there were people showing up at the house looking for the old owner. And again, I'm super naive. I'd go out to the street and be like, hey, I'm Kate. I'm the new owner now. Blah, 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 blah. Chatting. There was a fair number of people coming by, but that seemed not unusual considering the guy had lived here for 30 years. Anyway, one day he came by to get some stuff, and he was walking me around the property and chatting, showing me trees and plants in the orchard. And I was really interested in his knowledge of horticulture and stuff. He seemed like an interesting cat. And we were talking about cannabis and growing cannabis and how it's changed since it got legalized. And he was talking about how, he had grown in the past. And then he told me, well, that's why I put the house on the market. I got busted. To which I said, oh my God, how much did you grow? whoosh. And he rolled his eyes and said, "Not weed, Kate." And it was all kind of snapping into place. I met my neighbor. He drove by and I waved. I was waving at everybody when I first moved here. I still do wave at people, but this old guy stopped. It was maybe the second day I was here, and he got out, Murray, Chantel's husband, and he's like 80. He's wonderful. Got out, introduced himself, got out of his truck, came onto my property. We started chatting, and he's telling me he's a retired cop, and he said, he joked that the guy who owned this house was his local drug dealer, and they called this place the pharmacy. And I'm trying to put two and two together, and I'm thinking, oh, this guy's a cop, but I guess cops party. Like me, I don't do cocaine, so it's not my jam. But I'm thinking maybe cops party, I guess, whatever. It's all copacetic on the road. Whatever, everybody just lives and lets live. You're in the country. Anyway, after I met his wife, Chantel, I told her that story, and she laughed and told me Murray was completely fucking with me and just joking. And he, never done drugs in his life. And it was just his way of telling me that I had bought a drug house. So it was a lot to take in, especially considering I moved from the city to the middle of nowhere with my son, who was only 12 at the time. And while I have mixed feelings about not knowing what I was coming into, and the lack of disclosure, obviously, anyway, I'm glad I didn't know, because I wouldn't have bought this house. And I love this house, and I love this road, and I love my life, and I know I'm meant to be here. So I'm glad I didn't know. But, I was still digesting all of this information when 2 weeks after I moved in, I woke up to an electrical fire in the house. And, which was just a whole other thing to deal with. And so, just kind of processing everything. As I've gone through the house, I have the context of now the kind of house that it was. I can see why it needed the work that I had to put into it, partially from the fire repairs and partially out of my own pocket, because nothing was really certified or done properly, and it was kind of pieced together probably through a lot of barter and trade. It's been a bit of a crazy ride. There's evidence of it all over the house, I've found now. Anyway, stash spots that guy was bold enough to take me through the house and show me all the little stash spots and stuff. Maybe he's just too whacked out to realize that another person, could sue him or something. But at the end of the day, I love it here, so I'm not picking any battles or picking any fights. But it was shocking. So, when I sold my house, there was a form I had to sign that stated that it had never been a drug house, never an indoor grow operation, and that was fine because it never had been. I had just been an outdoor gardener in my house, other than like growing some clones under a light. There was nothing going on in my house, but I didn't sign one of those when I moved here. So anyhow, that's the full backstory to everything that's been going on. And I don't know, maybe it's time to share it for entertainment purposes only. In the moment, it's ugly drama, but years later, it's just an interesting story, right? So I'm hoping by now it's just become an interesting story, backstory to how I came to this beautiful place. And I'm coming up to 2 years. I mean, not quite. It's been a year and a half. It'll be 2 years in April. But it's my second winter. And, yeah, I've never looked back. So that's the juicy gossip on the full details about what happened when I moved here. And just some of the shit I've been contending with. It's been a wild ride, but things are finally settling down. And, yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. So there's that. All right. Well, we'll see if I post this. Until next time, yeah, speaking my truth. I'm Kate from Cater. I will see you later.